You have probably seen the articles and news about the excellence of the Finnish education system. But what makes this particular model the best? It all starts with the Finns' understanding on how important early childhood years are. Childhood is when all of the core developmental changes take place. The most up-to-date brain research suggests that human learning does not only take place in the brain. What children do plays a role in how they learn. Yet we often think that sitting children down for long periods to study academic subjects will give them a head start. The Finns, however, have decades of scientific proof to the contrary. The Finnish educational system is successful because it recognizes the importance of good teachers throughout a child's school career, and especially during the early years. The model combines emotional intelligence with academic competence and actively encourages the participation of the children themselves. This means that Finnish kids learn through inquiry and play. Hey Schools was founded in partnership with the University of Helsinki. Our aim is to offer the Finnish model to the world. We want to make first-class early childhood education available to as many children as possible. How do we do it? We designed a scalable, easy-to-implement school concept that offers the curriculum, teacher training model, a design concept for the learning environment, as well as carefully selected learning materials. Our mission is to bring up children who are not only capable of adapting to the changing world, but changing the world themselves.
Hello, hi, good evening, everyone. Hello, Heikki.
Hello, good afternoon from Helsinki.
Oh, yes.
Malaysia.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this SGC webinar, brought to you jointly by SEGI Group of Colleges and the Hay Schools, Finland. So today's session is a sharing on Finnish early education from various perspectives, and we will be learning from the experts on how to stand out with early education from Finland. So it is going to be a very exciting webinar today, as we celebrate the collaboration between SEGI as well as Hay Schools Finland. So together with me today is Heikki. Heikki, in one sentence, would you like to introduce yourself to our participant?
Yes, a very good afternoon from Helsinki and a very good evening to Malaysia and the rest of Southeast Asia. My name is Heikki Vartija and I work at Hay Schools in the partnerships team, and I'm responsible for the Southeast Asian region. Very nice to see you all here in the webinar.
Thank you, Heikki. Welcome to our webinar. Yes. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself though. My name is Michelle. I'm an early childhood lecturer at SEGI College, Subang Jaya. So me and Heikki will be the moderators for today's session. Some housekeeping. So can we ask that everyone to introduce yourself in the chat box? Please type student if you are a student, and type teacher if you are an early childhood practitioner. If you do not belong to any of the two categories, you can just type others. And also, we would love to hear from you where you are tuning in from. Yeah. Wow, we have people even from Hong Kong, Cebu, Sarawak, JB. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Cheers. Yes. Yes, we see a lot of our students and our friends from schools from all over Malaysia. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. What time is it at your part of the world, Heikki?
It's actually 3 p.m. in
3
Helsinki.
p.m. Ah, okay.
And a very beautiful summer day.
That's great. We are at 8:15 now.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah. And a quick briefing to everyone before we start. Our session today should take approximately about 1.5 hours.
1.5 hours.
Yes, 1.5 hours. So during this session, we will mute all participants in order to avoid any unnecessary interruption. But we encourage you to type your question in the chat box below. And towards the end of the session, our speakers will try to answer your question during the Q&A session. If you are more comfortable typing in Chinese or in Bahasa Malaysia, please feel free to do so. If your questions are not answered, we will try to get back to you after the webinar. And we would also like to inform everyone that this webinar is recorded and will be used by SEGI University and colleges and its subsidiaries in the future. So please stay until the end of the session, as there will be a QR code for you to scan to get your e-certificate. Our Zoom meeting can only host 500 participants. So in the event, if you are unable to join the Zoom meeting or your friends are unable to join the Zoom meeting, you are always welcome to watch the live stream happening concurrently on YouTube. Yeah, just follow us on SEGI College Subang Jaya on YouTube. So without further ado, is everyone ready? Yes? Okay, great. I see everyone is ready. Heikki, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now Heikki, Would you like to introduce our speakers who are connecting with us all the way from Finland and China today?
Yes, it's my pleasure. So first of all, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce you to Professor Lasse Lipponen, who is the Professor of Early Childhood Education in the Faculty of Educational Sciences at the University of Helsinki. And he's also a head of pedagogical content and the co-founder of Hey Schools. And Lasse Lipponen has a long experience as a professor, also a visiting professor all over the globe. He's also quite a known figure in the Southeast Asian region and has been lecturing, for instance, in Kota Kinabalu in Malaysia just over a year ago. Lasse has also received fundings from some Southeast Asian sources for his studies, including the Ministry of Education of Singapore and the Lien Foundation in Singapore. So Lasse, very much welcome to this webinar, and you will have your turn to introduce the Finnish early childhood education introduction later in this webinar.
Thank you, Heikki.
And then after Lasse, I have the pleasure to introduce our CEO of Hey Schools, Miss Milla Kokko. So Milla Kokko is the original founder of Hey Schools and the CEO of our company. And she has a very long experience as a business professional and strategist, working in several Finnish and international companies in Finland and internationally. Welcome,
Very
Milla.
nice to meet you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Milla. And Milla will introduce us to Hey Schools and to the certificate program, and also to our cooperation with SEGI that we are really happy about. And then we have a guest speaker from China. So I'm very happy and honored to introduce you to Ms. Hu Shifang, who is the Associate Professor at Baotou Teachers College in China. And Ms. Hu was the first Hey Schools principal in the world and in China. And she is very much a professional in the Finnish early childhood education. So warmly welcome, Ms. Hu.
Hi, everybody.
And then finally, at the end, as Michelle already told, we have the Q&A session. And in the Q&A session, I also have Ms. Karolina Nygren, our pedagogical director at Hey Schools, to answer your tricky questions about our certificate program. And Karolina has a long experience as a early childhood education educator and teacher. She's a Master of Arts in Early Education, and she has work experience not only in Finland, but also, for example, in Baotou, China. So Karolina, a very warm welcome to you as well.
Thank you, Heikki, for the kind introduction, and good evening, everyone in Malaysia. Nice to be here with you today.
Thank you, Karolina. These were the keynote speakers from Hey Schools side. Then we have the honorary speakers that I will introduce to you later on. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Heikki.
Michelle,
Thank you.
if you can continue with your guest speakers from Malaysia.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Well, over here in Malaysia, we are very honored to have Mr. Cha Eng Kun, who is the Managing Director for Talento Academy Malaysia. Mr. Cha is also the Treasurer of the Early Childhood Care and Education Council, or more popularly known as ECCE Council Malaysia, and the Advisor for Malaysian Preschool Teachers Association. Mr. Cha has a long 21 years experience in early childhood education industry. With his knowledge and experience of managing 8 direct-owned centers, he serves as the consultant for 49 preschools nationwide on a curriculum transformation program. He is also one of the panelists for the National Preschool Curriculum Standard, or known as the KSPK for the year 2017. Mr. Cha's contribution towards providing quality learning for young children has earned Talento Kindergarten the recognition as the benchmarking preschool in Malaysia. Mr. Cha will be enlightening us today on how the Finnish early education can fit into Malaysian context in supporting our early childhood education industry in Malaysia. So we look forward to hear from Mr. Chia.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
And we are also very honored to have our session to be officiated by our CEO, Ms. Stella Lau, and also His Excellency, Mr. Sami Leono. Do allow me to introduce Ms. Stella, the CEO of SEGI Group of Colleges. Hi, Ms. Stella. So, Ms. Stella.
Hello.
Hi, Ms. Stella.
Very nice to meet all of you.
Yes, nice to have you with us. Ms. Stella has close to also 21 years of experience serving as senior management in the private higher education industry. Her credentials in the higher learning industry span from being in the lecturing role all the way to the top managerial role. She is an expert at leading curriculum management as well as driving the teaching and learning strategies at institutions of higher learning. Her extensive experiences in her professional field has enabled her to manage financial and cultural turnarounds successfully. Ms. Stella is currently the CEO for SEGI Group of Colleges. Her prior appointments include serving 4 years as Deputy Vice Chancellor, 6 years as the Group Chief Operating Officer, and 5 years as the College Principal. So without further ado, may I invite Ms. Stella for her opening address for the webinar. Ms. Stella?
Thank you, Michelle and Heikki. Good evening to all in Malaysia and good afternoon to our guests, our speakers in Finland. Greetings also to His Excellency Ambassador Mr. Sami Leono, the Ambassador of Finland to Malaysia and Brunei. And of course to all our distinguished speakers. Thank you for making the time to attend this webinar. I would like to, first of all, give some background to SEGI Group of Colleges especially. Globally, the education of young children is recognized as being the foundation of their future learning. And this early childhood care and education field now demands well-qualified and dedicated practitioners with a sound understanding of the learning needs of young children. Our belief in building strong international collaborations in this field as part of our ongoing initiatives, specifically in this case, to enhance quality and professionalism in ECCE. We started ECCE training back in 1999 when we collaborated with the Montessori Center International in the United Kingdom to offer the Montessori diploma in the country. In 2010, we conducted the Australian Early Childhood Bachelor's degree, then with the University of Southern Queensland. In 2014, we introduced the UK Early Childhood Standards to our students through a bachelor's degree in early years, this time with the University of Greenwich, UK. Today, we are so excited to continue to take the lead in ECCE teacher training through this collaboration with Hay Schools. I know this collaboration allows the Hay School Teacher Certificate to be embedded nicely within our Diploma in Early Childhood Education, and this is especially for our June 2021 cohorts of students. And thereafter, we're giving our ECCE students this really rich learning experience. But of course, to our existing students and past students, we are not leaving you out. If you are here tuning in to this webinar today, we are also offering the Hay School Teacher Certificate as an option to you as a short course. For more details, I'm sure you will be able to contact us for all of that. This synergy between SEGI and Hay Schools will definitely result in a richer learning experience that will have students put theory into practice in all work-related assignments. The learning activities, I'm sure, will inspire students with the latest research and new ideas and ignite a deeper passion within them to bring up children who will change the world, to quote Hay Schools. They will be immersed in an appreciation of the Malaysian ECCE context and explore what the Finnish early childhood education model can bring to it. I know this industry is really excited over this collaboration as we move the early childhood training and profession forward, cementing the point that professional ECCE services are essential services at all times. Sergi is extremely pleased to celebrate our collaboration with Hay Schools in this webinar, where you will be introduced to the Finnish early childhood education, what makes it the best in the world, get a better idea on what Hay School Teacher Certificate can offer you, find out why the Hay School model is so widely accepted, with special emphasis in China and also its relevance in our Malaysian context. Lastly, I must thank my team, the faculties of education in SEGI colleges, for working so hard to bring this collaboration to where we are now, and especially to Ms. Caroline Chu for your leadership in guiding your faculty and your students forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Stella Lau, for your kind words and a good summary of our cooperation. We are also really looking forward to this. And I also want to thank on my behalf for the very good work that we have done together so far with finding out the right way to work together.
Yes.
But now it's my great honor to introduce you to, let me share the screen just a moment. So it's my greatest pleasure and honor to introduce you to His Excellency Ambassador Sami Leino, who is the Ambassador of Finland to Malaysia and Brunei. Ambassador Leino joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Finland in 1999, and he holds a Master of Law degree. And he's very well aware of your region, as he has been the director of the unit of Eastern Asia and Oceania in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs between 2014 and 2020. And now last autumn, he was nominated as the ambassador to Kuala Lumpur. Before being in Malaysia, he has also been in our diplomatic missions, embassies in Moscow, The Hague, in the NATO headquarters in Brussels, and the permanent mission of OSCE in Vienna, and also worked in civilian crisis management tasks in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So, Your Excellency, Ambassador Leino, a very warm welcome to this webinar, and the stage is yours. Do we have the ambassador, Your Excellency? We might have some technical issues here at the moment.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well. Welcome.
Sorry, I seem to have some technical problems. I was kicked out of the meeting for a short while, but it's great to be back. And so, dear participants and CEO Stella Lau and Milla Kokko, Professors Lipponen and Hu Shifang, and dear participants, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this very, very exciting event we are having today. And I'm really pleased to be able to join you this event about early education and celebrate the important event of signing the agreement between SEGI University and colleges and high schools about cooperation in developing SEGI's early childhood education teacher diploma program. I sincerely and very warmly want to congratulate SEGI and high schools for this important achievement. And I want to wish you, of course, all the success for your future cooperation. I'm sincerely believe that both sides you have very much to learn and benefit from this cooperation. I'm very pleased to note that this will also be the first partnership SEGI has with the Finnish education concept. Education in general is, of course, one of the key areas of cooperation between Finland and Malaysia. And we at the embassy see a lot of potential to deepen cooperation between our countries in this field. Relations between Finland and Malaysia are very good, but I sincerely feel that we can do a lot more. And these kind of concrete cooperation projects and initiatives, what now has been agreed between SEGI and high schools, are of great importance in achieving this goal. Ladies and gentlemen, we have today a very comprehensive program ahead of us, and you will hear a lot about the Finnish education, early education system and how we see early education. I would dare to say that we in Finland, we are quite proud of our education system, and it's also something we seem to be quite well known also here in Malaysia. We in Finland, we do not see education as something that takes place only in school. We see it more as a lifelong journey that begins from birth. We also believe that like education should not only take into account academic advancement, but development of personality and citizenship, learning trust, confidence and values like equality should be at its very core, and this is especially important in early childhood. Many of the defining qualities of the Finnish society are reflected in our approach to early childhood care and education. Access to daycare and pre-primary education is a universal right guaranteed to all children, regardless of their background or parent situation. The staff in our daycare centers are educated professionals whose qualifications are regulated. Doing things together and trusting each other are key elements of early childhood education, as well as the participation of parents, which is given great considerations, and children's opinions are listened to as well. And what is maybe the most important thing, children are treated as individuals. They are encouraged to explore and try things with special focus on children with special needs. We in Finland aim to support children in being competent and active subjects who should be allowed to act and develop in accordance with their personal traits. Play-based learning is an excellent example of this child-centered and enabling approach we have in Finland. During my first year as the ambassador of Finland in Malaysia, I have become convinced that Malaysia truly is a country with great potential in many, many areas. And I believe that good quality education is an essential preconditioning for realizing all this potential. It results in skilled and adaptable workforce, as well as informed and participating citizens. And the foundation of all this is, of course, laid in early childhood. Finland and Malaysia and our challenges may be sometimes different, but I think also in this area, there's much we can learn from each other and our experiences. Dear participants, once again, I sincerely want to wish you all a very fruitful and interesting webinar today. And once more, congratulations to SEGI and High School for making this cooperation possible. Me, as well as the Embassy of Finland, we look forward to cooperating with SEGI and High Schools also in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Mr. Leono.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And I think it's time to move on. Thank you very much for your kind words and a very informative speech as well. And
sorry if you missed my video. I thought my video was on. But you probably heard my words.
Yes,
I hope
yes,
so.
yes. We
Yes,
would
we
love to
did.
see
Very
your
well.
face.
No,
you
sorry
very
for that. I just like
It's
I was
okay,
kicked
no
out and I
worries.
automatically thought that my video was on. You should have interrupted me, but so congratulations. I'm really pleased. I have not yet. This is also my first contact to SEGI, and I look forward to having contact and cooperation with you as well in the future. And it's a
Thank you very
great
much.
honor to be here today. So thank you so much, and sorry for the technical
No
difficulties.
worries, no worries. Thank you so
very much.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ambassador Leena. And now let's move on. And I'm happy to welcome Professor Lasse Lipponen to give his short introduction to the Finnish early childhood education. So Professor Lipponen, Lasse, you are welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
And you can probably also see me.
That as well.
So first of all, it's my great honor to be here today. I'm very happy about this invitation and this cooperation with SEGI colleagues, because I think that in the future we have a lot of opportunities to learn from each other. So as Heikki told you, I'm one of the co-founders of Hay Schools, but also as a professor of early child education and work at the University of Helsinki at the Faculty of Educational Sciences. I've also have some, experience of working in Asian countries like Malaysia and especially in Singapore. I visited Malaysia 2013 for 5 weeks, and then I visited different colleges and daycare centers and preschools, and in Singapore between years 2013 and 2019, I had several duties. I actually worked there with the Ministry of Education, with the University of Social Sciences, and also with the Foundation. So I kind of have some kind of understanding of the possibilities, potentials, and also maybe challenges about what you have and what I've learned for also in Singapore. Because of, as Ambassador Sami said, because of the reputation of Finnish education, I have through the past decade, I have given several talks around the world about Finnish early child education. And to be honest, it's pretty hard to tell all the main points just in 20 minutes, because there's so many things to tell you about. But I try to do my best. I think that the reputation of Finnish education, especially early child education, and also early child education is mainly based on the international ranking. So we have scored high also in early child education, but also in compulsory education. And that's one of those things that why we are so, why people actually are so interested in at how we do education in Finland. And I try to tell you some of the points that how we do early child education in Finland. But if you look at, and I'm delighted to say that if you look at globally, and this is really nice and this is really interesting, there's a growing interest in early child education. You can see countries around the world investing in early child education. And one of those things that I would like the countries to invest when it comes to early child education is especially on teacher education. Because if you have only one thing to raise the quality of early child education, you should invest on the teachers. And I think that is one of those things that we have actually done in Finland. So when we talk about early child education in Finland, it means children between ages 0 and 6. Because in Finland, you go to school when you are school starts when you are actually 7 years old. And before that, from 0 to 6 is what we call early child education. But the Finnish system is a bit complicated because the last year before the child goes to school is what we call a pre-primary education. And as Sami said, this is free for all 6-year-olds in Finland. And in fact, and this is really interesting, to have this pre-primary year, the year before school, it is actually compulsory. So you have to participate in that pre-primary education. And that is something that I think it's very characteristic to Finnish education. It has something to do with, to ensure the school readiness or things like that. Well, the main aim of Finnish early childhood education is to promote the holistic growth, health, and well-being of the child. And this holistic approach means that we kind of try to integrate education, teaching, and care as a holistic goal. And in practice, this means, for example, that we think that every moment, every situation is an opportunity to learn and to develop. So it's not only those situations that are, for example, organized by teachers or educators, but having a lunch, having a nap, putting your clothes on, all these situations give children, give opportunities for learn. So this is kind of idea that goes through the Finnish early child education. You can learn in every situation. You can develop in every situation. And this is something that, the Finnish teachers, EC teachers, are expected to practice in their everyday pedagogical activities. And this idea of promoting holistic growth, health, and well-being, it's implemented with the following ideas. In Finland, the child has a right to high quality early child education. So there's the high quality, and then we could talk, I could give you a lecture what this high quality means, but one of those things that ensures high quality early child education, and this is based on the research, is the education level of teachers. So promoting high quality teacher education also promotes high quality education and high quality early child education. So this is one thing. The second main idea in Finnish early child education is that there's a strong emphasis on pedagogy. And this pedagogical emphasis is even stated in the early child education legislation in Finland. So it's a very, very strong base on high quality pedagogical activities. Another thing is that in Finland, and I think that this is perhaps something that is very characteristic to Finnish early education is, and this is also compulsory to do, that we need to draft and make an individual EC plan for every child. So kind of, document those things that he or she is, let's say, strong, what are his or her, strengths, and what are those things that the child still needs to, focus on and develop, more. And this individual plan for every child, it's made in a collaboration with the parents. So in Finnish context, the collaboration and cooperation with the parents is highly, stressed, highly anticipated, and highly recognized. Play has always played a crucial role in early child education. Once again, I could give you a 2-hour lecture about the play and the importance of play, but this is one of the cornerstones of Finnish early child education. And even, this kind of let's say, academic activities like mathematics or reading and writing, they can do. We practice them through, I would say, pedagogical, playful activities. So it's not, only putting, children sit around the table and do, you know, maths or writing something, but it can be done through playful activities and through play. One main and quite new thing in Finland is, and this is, I think that this is globally quite unique, that we have national level core curricula for early child education that actually obligate. So these national core curricula, there are actually two of them, they obligate the practitioners, municipalities, cities, so they are actually compulsory to follow. They are not anything like guidelines, but they are like school curriculum. They're compulsory to follow. And this is why these two curricula in early education are obligatory, is because in that way we can actually set some kind of a common standard or bar for the high quality of early education. And these two curricula that the Finnish early education system relies are national core curriculum for early child education and care, and that's for children from 0 to 6. And then this last year before school, this pre-primary education, they actually have their own curriculum, and it's called National Core Curriculum for Pre-Primary Education. So this is kind of a very unique to Finnish system, that we actually have two national core curricula in early childhood education for the kids 0 to 6, and then for children from 6 to 7, the last year before they go to school. And they are mandatory, they are compulsory to follow. And the Finnish system, because even if we follow this national core curricula, based on these, the Finnish municipalities they actually design their own local activity plans. So there are different stages in Finnish system how this national core curriculum is put in practice. So there's a lot of, you know, I would say autonomy for the municipalities to interpret the national core curriculum, and then based on this municipality level curricula, the preschools, daycare centers, they are actually forming their own and designing their own curriculum. So there are actually different levels, and this kind of tells something about that there's a lot of power on the local level in Finnish education system. So how different, you know, parties are actually interpreting and implementing, you know, this curriculum. The whole Finnish education, early child education, the whole Finnish education system, and including early child education, is administrated by the Ministry of Culture and Education in Finland. And this is really important and interesting thing, because in Finland, officially, early childhood education is part of the education continuum. So it's part of the education continuum. So in Finland, in a way, early child education it's education policy. It's not a social policy or anything like that. And to my understanding and to my interpretation, having the whole education system under same ministry should, for example, make the design of the curriculum continuum from early child education to school, the transition from early child education to school, more smooth and more continuous. So this is one of the advantage of having the whole education system under one ministry. And I know that this is not the case in every country. It's quite seldom, actually. during the past, I would say, decade, I have had huge number of visitors from different countries, from different institutions in Finland. And whenever I have taken my visitors to Finnish schools and Finnish preschools and Finnish daycare centers, one of those things that they usually notice is what is called the culture of trust. So there's some kind of a trust between teachers and children, teachers and parents, and it's more like with even trust between preschools and schools. So one of the main things that is very characteristic to Finnish education system is the idea of trust. So that is based on a trust. And once again, I can stress the role of teachers, because partly this trust in Finnish education and education system is based on the teacher training. Because teachers, school teachers and teachers in early child education, they are trained in universities. And in universities, teacher education programs are actually research-based programs. So whatever we do in university, in teacher training programs, it should be based on, and it's based on the latest research. And this leads to the idea that the teacher profession in Finland is an expert profession. So we think that teachers should be, or they should have a high quality training, so that not anybody can actually be a teacher. So this is a very, very Finnish idea that the teacher profession is an expert profession based on research-based, teacher education programs. And this is, for example, one of my main jobs, because I actually work as a professor in the teacher training program for early child education. So this is what I do as one of my main jobs. I think that the last thing that I want to point out is the pedagogy and the main ideas of the pedagogical approach in Finland. So in Finland, once again, we go back to teachers. In Finland, the teachers have a lot of autonomy how to implement pedagogy and what kind of pedagogical activities they actually put into practice. And this is based on the idea that the teachers are highly trained and that they actually highly autonomous in what they actually do. The Finnish national core curriculum for early child education entails the idea that pedagogy should strongly build on children's interests and their experiences. And this doesn't mean that anything goes. There's a big role that teachers have in trying to figure out and trying to think about that. What are children's interests? How can they be integrated with the goals of a curriculum and so on? But this is, you could probably say that this is quite a child-centered approach to early child education, building on children's interests and their experiences. And the main idea is that in this way, children are kind of considered not as the object, only the object of education, but also subject who can actually practice their participation and their agency. And they should be heard, about those things that concern themselves. Finnish pedagogy is pretty much built on play, It stresses the role of peer relationship and building them as activities based on a curiosity and this kind of inquiry approach and exploration. It also stresses the importance of social emotional competencies and transversal skills. So this is actually my very short introduction to some of the basic issues and cornerstones of Finnish education. Probably have forgotten several things, like that the Finnish education system is based on equality and democracy and this kind of ideas, and there's would be much more to say, but I think that I will stop here, and I'm happy that I had this opportunity to once again say something about the Finnish early education, and I really hope that we can continue our discussion around these issues and topics. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Lipponen. Thank you, Lasse. That was very informative, although very short, but I'm sure that all the students at Segi University and colleges, and also those alumni and other students who are joining our certificate program, they will learn much more from our program and also learn more about your ideas. And at this point, I also want to mention our webinars that Hay Schools arranges, monthly special webinars, where very often Lasse Lipponen is elaborating on the Finnish early childhood education. And you can find these webinars in our website recorded. So you are very welcome to listen to them. But now let's move on.
Thank you. Can I say one more thing?
Please, of course.
And if ever needed, I can actually give lectures on this kind of things to Segi. So that's fine.
Yes, I think we will have you presenting to the Segi students sooner or later. So thank you, Lasse. And now we will need to move on, although we would love to hear Lasse even more. But now I will give the turn and an opportunity for our CEO, Ms. Milla Kokko, to say her words. So Milla, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Heikki, and thanks once again for all the fellow speakers and your excellency and whole Segi team, and all of first of all the students and all the participants today. I think it's always a privilege to kind of see that we are working with the absolute VIP people in the world, and I mean the smallest children. And we really, really think that the smallest children are the ones who deserve the best teachers. And this has not been always the case, since I think that the kind of we are both Professor Lasse and also other speakers referred to this kind of really, really big change that is happening in the world, that we are actually moving to think about the small children's education as a babysitting services, and we are moving a really, really gigantic shift to profession, thinking of the small children's education as a professional training and professional education, that you cannot take somebody from the street and say that, okay, you can start to teach, but actually that this is a profession where you actually need to know about children, about how children learn. And it is the most valuable phase of learning in a human being's life. And this is why we are so extremely happy that we can actually have the collaboration together with Segi and with Hay Schools, bringing in the Finnish style early childhood education into Malaysia. And I think that it has been fantastic already now, but it really becomes true once we got to kind of work with you students. So that's when the real magic happens. And also our heritage with the Helsinki University of Helsinki as a founder, and Segi as a very large college and university as well, that the academic research and the true knowledge and the science behind the education and the understanding that how small children learn and how we as human beings learn. And that's why we feel that it's a very natural fit between Hay Schools and SEGI. And also we are very, very happy that as we could also see that the embassy in Malaysia is also supporting in a very beautiful way, that also the government of Finland and the Education Finland is recognizing this work and supporting the kind of offering the Finnish education around the world. And what has been truly, truly fantastic over the last 5 years when Hay Schools has been working as a company is that we have met so many wonderful, wonderful teachers, parents, operators, professors, and obviously children around the world, and understood that it is really, of course, we have different cultures around the world, and the lifestyles are very different, and how we have access to outdoors or not have access to outdoors, etc. They can be different, but the children, the teachers, and the kind of passionate people towards education and early childhood education actually share very, very similar approaches all over the world. So that's why we really think that we are not so much kind of exporting Finnish education, but really, really developing the most high quality early childhood education together with different partners and different students and different teachers around the world. And that has been the truly, truly fantastic journey for us as well. And while we have been doing that, we have been paying attention to the smallest details to largest strategic issues. And this is what really makes the kind of like what we feel that it is, the children deserve also to be seen as the VIP people in the learning areas, so that whether it's graphic design or whether it's the spaces where the children are learning, or whether it's books, or whether it's the teacher training, that it is really, really well crafted and well designed. We are working with 4 different type of products. So the on the left hand side, the Hay Schools learning centers and activity clubs that are Hay Schools branded and named centers around the world. And then on the right hand side, the Hay Schools Teacher Toolkit, which is a subscription service for any preschool or any early education center around the world. And now with SEGI, this teacher certificate program that we will take a look in a minute a little bit deeper, but that we think that the kind of together with the University of Helsinki and with the pedagogical experts in Hay Schools, that we do have quite a deep knowledge on how children learn and develop, and then we can put it on the different packages in order to serve different audiences. But the teachers are really, really to us the true superheroes. Without you teachers, and I could see that they were actually, most of you participants are teachers. So you are the true superheroes. It doesn't matter how beautiful concepts or how excellent training programs we design or offer as even as a SEGI team or Hay Schools team, unless you actually make it real. So we really, really, like I said in the beginning, we think that the smallest children deserve the best teachers. And that is why the kind of offering you the education, the training, the support, mentoring, tools, materials that you deserve and that you need in order to actually offer the high quality early childhood education for the children is our job. So that's why we are really, really making a lot of effort to collaborate with the teachers, to understand that what is really useful, what is too difficult to use, what is interesting for the children, what is boring for the children, or what is boring for the teachers. And that's why we have created the teacher certificate program that hopefully serves well. And I'm gonna share a small video with you regarding the actual course so that you can take a look at that. And then we can come back to a little bit more detailed questions. But here is Tina, our colleague, telling a little bit walkthrough on the certificate program.
Welcome to explore the Hay Schools Teacher Certificate Program. Hay Schools, together with co-founder University of Helsinki and Professor Lasse Lipponen, have created an online teacher certificate program that is based on Finnish national core curriculum of early childhood education and care. The 100% online program can be accessed from anywhere around the world, started at any time and completed at your own pace. You can first read interesting articles on different topics, such as how we train our teachers in Finland and how teacher education is possibly different than in your country. The actual certificate program consists of 10 modules with topics like how children learn, how to observe and evaluate children's learning in the play-based model, how play and learning go hand in hand, about transversal skills, inquiry-based learning, inclusion and special needs, and for example, how pedagogical planning is done. We estimate that the extensive 10 modules program could take you from a minimum of a few months up to a year or more to complete, depending on if you are concurrently teaching or not, what your background and your English language level skills are. The teacher certificate program is completed fully in English language at your own pace online. Yet currently we also provide video subtitles in Mandarin Chinese. Let's take a look at the first module now, for example. We first introduce the topic. This particular one is called How Children Learn. After an introductory video, the content and duration of the module are presented, along with learning objectives and the first assignment. The practical assignments can be completed with a group of children if possible, so that you can apply the learning in practice right away. The certificate program focuses on early childhood education, yet the same pedagogical principles apply also for higher grades in the Finnish education. There are different parts to each module. In Module 1, the first part is about physical development and healthy habits. Here you will, for example, learn about different milestones, the vestibular system, and common challenges in physical development and health. The whole certificate program is backed up by research with further links and articles to read. Learning in the certificate program happens via videos, articles, lectures, and assignments. In the second part, on socio-emotional development and peer relationships, practical tips and a lecture is given on expressing, understanding, and regulating emotions. In this particular mode, the next topic is cognitive development, where, for example, understanding, attention, and memory development milestones are presented. The linguistic development part talks about, for example, how to promote second language learning. At the end of each module, there is a multiple choice exam that needs to be successfully completed in order to receive your personal certificate on Finnish education. Kindly reach out for more information. We're looking forward to having you or your teachers join our teacher certificate program.
So thank you for Tina to sharing the little bit more about the content of the teacher certificate course. And like was mentioned earlier, this is all incorporated into SEKI 2.5 year lasting teacher diploma. So that, but this course can also be available for all SEGI students and all alumni as well. So you are welcome to join whether you are doing the diploma study or just joining as an alumni. And like Tina presented just on a video, it's on 10 modules and different type of study methods, but all are online and you can continue that with your own pace. Typically, 8 to 12 months or more. And this is what we, the teachers who are participating, and they are obviously Hay schools around the world. The last year that has been challenging for all of us because of the COVID-19 has also brought us something really, really beautiful and fantastic. And this is where I'm referring to Global Hay Schools family of teachers and early childhood education enthusiasts around the world. And that's what we call Hay Family. And that has been fantastic to have so many new members. And we are warmly, warmly welcoming whole SEGI team and all of you to join Hay Family. And thank you so much once more in order for me to be able to share a moment with you, and we will then go on with the next topic. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Milla. That was very informative. And
thank you.
Just before I let Ms. Hu start her session, I want to remind you that if you have any questions, please write them in the Q&A box, chat box of Zoom. So we will answer as much time as we have after this. We will answer them, or then those questions that are unanswered, we will answer then afterwards to you. But now, thanks once more, Ms. Milla Kokko. Thank you, Milla. And now it's Ms. Hu Shifang from Baotou, China, to tell us about the Finnish pedagogy in the Chinese context. So, Ms. Hu, you are warmly welcome to share your thoughts and ideas. Thank you. Insights.
I'm sorry, I got some problem with sharing the screen. Hello.
Okay.
Okay, I got some problem with sharing my screen.
Did you open your slides already, Ms. Hu?
Yes.
And then you see at the bottom there is a share screen.
Okay,
yeah,
now
it's coming up.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, dear Ambassador Lino, dear keynote speakers, dear audience, good afternoon and good evening. It's my great honor to have the opportunity to share with you my experiences and understanding of Finnish ECE and Hay project. In 2017, I had honored to become the first Chinese principal of Hay schools in China. Together with the Finnish team, we led the Hay team to explore and implement Finnish early childhood education and the way of localization in China. We gained precious experiences. I have also achieved great development in my professional field. Firstly, I want to briefly introduce my personal experience in early childhood education. Sorry. Sorry, I cannot. I'm a teacher in Baotou Teachers College. We are future teachers. We were trained, or are trained. I got my master's degree in education in UK, where I got many opportunities to visit kindergartens due to my study need and my interest. After returning to China, we opened a private kindergarten in 2007 and was one of the shareholders. In 2006, I got the working opportunity to go to the USA working as a Chinese teacher in a K-12 state school in Colorado. During my work in the United States, I tried to find opportunities to learn more about American early childhood educations. In addition to the brief visits to several kindergartens, I was invited to help an international school to develop a Chinese curriculum. This job allowed me to work closely with their kindergarten team for 2 years to further understand early childhood education there. My experiences with both UK and American kindergarten may be limited, but at least gave me a brief understanding of their ECE concept, which were very popular in China at that time. After returning to China, I have participated in the operation of 6 different kindergartens. All these experiences, both working as a teacher trainer and in ECE field, make me always been looking for the answers to 2 questions. The first question is, being teacher trainer, how do we train our future teachers so that they can become qualified to shoulder the responsibility of cultivating our future citizens? The second question is, being early childhood educator, how can we prepare our children for a better future in this constantly changing world? I didn't find clear answers until I had a deep understanding of Finnish early childhood education. Hay School's mission is bringing up children who are not only capable of adapting to the changing world, but changing the world themselves. Everything we do at Hay Schools serves this mission. Fortunately, I and my team had our training twice in Finland, 1 month each year. We had lectures at Helsinki University, did on-site training at different kindergartens in Finland. For the first 2 years after the opening of Hay School, a team from Finland, including principals and teachers, ran the kindergarten with our Chinese team, guided us, supported us with the localization work. These experiences enable me to have a deep understanding of the Finnish ECE concept. The reason why I highly valued and agree with Finnish ECE is that, from my point of view, it is a scientific educational approach. The philosophies and approaches adopted are in line with the children's mental, physical, and cognitive development, and proven by the latest scientific research. This is also makes the localization work easier, because children all over the world, their learning and development process are the same. So when we talk about early childhood education approach, I think there is no difference between international and domestic, nor between Chinese and Finnish, but the difference between correct or incorrect. Working with young kids, we must find the correct approach. Here I'd like to share some of my favorite parts of the Hay concept as examples. Space design. The learning environment consists of furniture and surfaces made out of natural materials like wood. Uses of colors in the learning environment is limited. The main color are white and wood color that comes from nature, emphasizing the innate human instinct to connect with nature. Small details like pillows, carpet, and plants add a little color to the outlook of learning environment. Most of the big bright colors come from children's works that are always invisible in the learning environment. causing the children's pride in their works. Limited colors, noise reduction design protect kids and adults from visual stimulus and noise pollution. The design is based on the scientific findings that too many colors can cause visual pollution to the child, and too much noise will lead to the children's hearing damage, which will cause the children's nervous system problem and thus affect children's intellectual development. The Hay School does not only look beautiful, but the space function together with Hay pedagogy and offers kids and adults the right balance between an inspiring and calming environment. Being the principal, I was so happy to see that we provide children an environment where they feel safe physically, socially, and emotionally. I can see the happiness, harmony, progress, and good interaction that both children and adults show daily in such an environment. Usage of the pictogram. Hundreds of pictograms are used every day and everywhere at Hay School. For example, this is the daily routine. With clear, understandable pictograms, kids can easily understand what they will do for the day. Predictability in everyday life helps kids to establish a sense of order and safety. With the Chinese character on them, kids can easily learn the Chinese characters. Chinese characters learning is one of the important parts of localization work, because in China, kids are expected to learn a certain amount of Chinese characters before they go to primary school. With all those pictograms in the learning environment, they can easily learn hundreds of Chinese characters during 3 years stay in the Hay School. Pictograms are also used as the directions for actions, so the rules that are agreed and understood by everyone. They are also used for practicing to express emotions. All emotions are acceptable in Hay Schools. Pictograms are also used for helping the kids who have special needs. Individual needs are always taken into consideration. Inclusive education is the concept that is highly agreed by all staff. Respect children's difference while working for the inclusion of all children. View all children as unique individuals with the right to develop to their fullest potential. By using the pictogram, teachers can also save energy and create a peaceful, quiet environment. Adults are also well taken care of at Hay Schools. Every approach used at Hay School is just like the pictogram. It is subtle, but powerful. I'd also like to briefly share some of the elements and activities that work very well and loved by kids and teachers. A culture of trust emphasized by Hayway guides the collaboration between staff, parents, and community. Enable Hay staff and parents to work closely together as a family, fully support kids' development. This trust culture also directly influences the kids' relationship with their home, with others. Children's meeting. Children's meeting takes place at least once a month. Enable children to practice making decisions, knowing that they have a right to participate and have their voice heard and valued. Project-based learning enables kids to explore and learn by themselves with the assistance of their teachers. By searching for the answers together, children absorb the newly learned information better than if they were simply told the answer by teachers. Play day. Play is the most natural and motivating way for children to learn. Play day takes place at Hay School every week. promotes long-term play, time to play, a place to save what children have created. Keep the learning experience child-centered with a strong emphasis on developing children's strengths and build upon their interests, encourage cooperation. Hey Connection enables kids all over the world to communicate and share their learning experiences by using technology on a regular basis. Kids are encouraged to learn about new culture, understand and embrace diversity while preserving their national identity. When people ask me about the localization in Finnish EC concept in China, I used to tell them the beautiful stories that happen every day. But now, I'd rather encourage them to think about the whole development process of Finnish ECE, what we can learn from their effort of solving every problem with the support of scientific research, truly practice the child-centered concept. From my point of view, the successful practice of Finnish EC concept in China is Chinese outstanding wisdom and culture combines with the Finnish scientific spirit. Throughout our history, Chinese nation has proven its outstanding role of wisdom and culture, displaying heroism, collectivism, and perseverance in overcoming hardships. A good example of this is fighting the COVID-19. Implementing Finnish ECE concept in China and allowing its function along with Chinese wisdom and culture will create favorable condition, beneficial for our kids and prepare them to face the future better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hu.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hu. Yes, we are so inspired by your presentation. And the nice picture of the environment is so inspiring. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hu.
Thank you.
Yes. It is so wonderful to see how you are able to integrate the Finnish education into the Chinese curriculum. And it is all based on scientific research. Yeah, which is so practical and applicable, right? Thank you. Okay. So after listening to all our speakers sharing about the Finnish early education, we would now like to look at, in our Malaysian context, how would we consider the Finnish model to fit into our local practices? So can I now invite Mr. Chia Eng Kun to share with us his view? Mr. Chia?
Hi, thank you, Michelle. So I hope everyone can hear me clear and loud because
Yes,
I'm in Malaysia. So hopefully our line is good enough, everyone can hear. So first, I would like to thank Segi and also Hay School to give me this opportunity to share what we are practicing in Malaysia. In the sense that actually we are still in a process of discovering the play-based education. So I would like to share my slide now. Okay, I hope everyone can see. And I was told that actually if let's say there's a technical issue, hang or the screen is not showing anything, I have to sing a song. I hope I won't do that. So everyone can see now. Yeah. So this is thank you. Actually, last night when I was getting back home from my kindergarten, I'm walking around in my park and I'm thinking how to present my way for this evening, because I'm facing the top education country in the world, which is Finland, and I'm sharing what we are doing in Malaysia. So actually, I've been walking, I think, more than 1 mile, and I'm still thinking how to do my presentation at the time. And at last, I found that actually I just have to tell you that what we are doing. So let's go to the first slide. So if you want to know about Malaysia, the first thing that is actually that you have to know about our Malaysia education blueprint. This is the blueprint that we stated from 2013 to 2025. So it's a very, very thick book. I wouldn't spend my time to read it out. If you have time, go and read it. And for preschool, actually, we are focusing on the KSPK, which is called our National Preschool Curriculum. So this is the milestone that our country, Malaysia, have been developed our National Preschool Curriculum from year 1986 until 2017. And the latest curriculum will be coming up soon, which is I'm really excited to looking forward for our National Preschool Curriculum. So I hope that everyone actually can really go into look and study about our National Preschool Curriculum. So today my focus is actually to tell you that in our National Preschool Curriculum, which is a KSPK, there are a lot of teaching and learning strategy written in the book, and there are so many there, and you can see actually on the screen now. So today I will be focused as my center. We are doing more on the project-based learning, and just now I noticed that both speakers are talking about play-based, and you can see that actually clearly in our National Preschool Curriculum, we are encouraging to implement the play-based in our curriculum. So let me introduce that what we have done. Our school actually was found in 1980. So this year will be the 40 years. So 40 years old for us. And I'm older than this school. I'm not joining this school in 1980. So we started from a very typical curriculum where we introduce all the academic, including English, PM, and Mandarin, and all the subjects. And in years of 1990, we transformed ourselves from a subject-based curriculum to a more skill and thematic-based. And actually now, we are moving forward to a more learning corner and project-based. And this is where we have to suit into our National Preschool Curriculum. So this is, I'm going to show you what we are doing in Malaysia. In my school, since 2017, we have been trying to run out quite a lot of project approach. And you can see on the screen, this is only 9 projects, but actually we have been running more than 40 projects since 2017. And all these projects actually was, we are trying to learn it and try to explore it step by step. And I noticed also in our audience here, we have many friends, old friends here. They are more seniors and they are more knowledgeable and experienced than me. And what are we trying to share now is actually what are we doing. And we hope that we are doing better in the future. And we are willing to listen more comments and feedback on what I'm trying to present now, so that actually we can bring up the whole Malaysia early childhood education to a higher quality in terms of teaching approach and also the learning process. So these are some of the projects that we have run throughout the years. And then because I only have 10 minutes, so I don't have time to explain all the projects. So here are the QR code, so you can scan it and you can go to all the YouTubes that actually we are produce some of the short video throughout all the project, so that you can take your time and have a look. And if you have any further question, you can ask Jackie. I think they can answer you if they can. So so we go for the project. Why we want to run the project-based approach? And actually, I totally agree with what the previous speaker said. Play is very important. That's why I'm really looking forward to understand what Finland education is. Because in our school, we also talking about play. So like this slide, actually, we are doing a cafe project. And this project actually was started because of the question asking by the children. They are having a role play session in the learning corner, and they are serving the food to the teacher, but they're asking for the real money. And our teacher are giving them the fake notes, and our children doesn't accept it. They say that, how can you give me the fake note? I want the real money. And the teacher gives a very simple answer, because your food is not real. So from there, actually, we started the project, proceed with the, we call it a giraffe cafe. So in the, I'm not sure you see are you seeing the next slide? Oh yeah, I think it's my pro. So in the next slide, you can see that our children, starting from a very simple play, role play by cooking, and at the end, the project was end up that they really open up a real cafe. They are asking people to come in, and they cook the real food, and they serve the real coffee, and they even charge them slightly more expensive than the normal cafe. Because I did ask them why they have it, because they say that because they think that they should charge that. There's no reason at all. So we just accept it, and then the parents really participate in the cafe as well. So the second project that you can see here is actually come from a simple question that how to keep the bird in the cage. So the children draw a bird and a cage, and how can we keep the both thing in one? So actually the children come out this question, ask the teacher, and we start thinking about and how to solve this problem, and we can see the moving sketch project coming out. So from there, actually, you can see the children are very creative, and they are challenging our teachers to even try to think how to make a picture which can move. So this is the kind of a moving sketch, or we call that in commons that we call animation, can be done by the children. And you can see that from the left is actually a girl, the right is a boy. So you can easily see that the girl is always draw a girl, and the boy is always draw a boy. And the activities they've done is also quite clear that it's a boy and a girl's activity. And the next one, actually, you can see that is another project that we carry out by the children asking us that, what can a paper do? What can a piece of paper do? Can a piece of paper stand? So actually that we can see from there, from this question, I might want to ask you before I further showing you the slide, you can see that we can come up a lot of ideas where the teacher cannot predict at all. So in the project phase, actually the children is the leader of the project. The teachers doesn't plan the lesson plan at all, because we don't know what will be the ending, and the children will lead us to the end. So from the first one, you can see here, it's actually the children start thinking, how can a paper stand and what can be a paper doing? So you can see that the children trying on different types of paper, and they found that actually by folding a paper, it can easily stand. But is it enough? No, the children will start challenging the teachers again. So from there, actually they are asking the teacher, can the paper carry a weight or not? So they are trying to put as many things as they can on the piece of paper to show that the paper can carry the weight. And from there, the children actually start exploring different what you call shapes and structure can carry different types of weight, starting from the cylinder, and you can go for the triangular, and even our what you call that is actually a rectangle. So you can see, and this project actually was carrying on the last year when the children are having at home. So at that time, actually we are having a MCO. So the children are not allowed to come to the school, but actually they are allowed to carry out the project even at home, so that you can see. But when they come back to our school in the April, you can see that teachers are trying to scaffold them to another level, which they are challenging them. Okay, so how to put a person weight on a piece of paper, or how can we make a lot of more papers which can support a weight of adults or children. So from the screen here, actually you can see that the teachers are trying to step on what the children's experiment and what they are created to support a weight of an adult. So actually that the children was trying very. So this is a quite impressive project that we are trying to carry out, and we didn't even found that the children have the initiative and what you call the intention to make it success. So we even discovered the center of the gravity to make sure that it can support a weight of an adult. And lastly, you can see that the children can come out different types of chair made by the recycled paper, or even a magazine paper, or even a cardboard, which can support a person to sit on it, or it wouldn't damage. So to cut short all this, actually teachers, you can go into I'm showing here is actually the website. You can go into to see that how our children do carry out the project, and you can see every single child, they have their own chair which create by themselves, and it's very impressive that actually you can't see a similar chair which is created by the children. So you can check, you can key in the address, the website address, so that you can see that the details of the project. This is the latest project where we are doing now. It is still pending because of the FMCO, which we call the bowl project. So the children even start with a simple question like, the banana cannot fit into the bowl, so they want to create a bigger bowl. They try quite a lot of materials, including the soft clay. You can see on the left bottom side, you can see the children are pouring the water inside the soft clay. In this experiment, actually, it surprised there, because the children say that it looked like a lot of water, but actually it's not. What he means is actually that it's similar to the Piaget approach, where we're talking about some of the children felt that the taller the container will be holding more water volume, but actually it's not. So actually we are quite surprised that the children was understand this concept easily. And you can see on the left, on the right bottom side there, you can see that there are some of the problems happened is actually the clay was cracking, and they are thinking how to solve the problem as well. So this bowl project, it was carried on, and until now we are still trying to carry it on, and we still don't know what is the ending. We are still waiting for the children actually to tell us where we should go. Okay, you can see here is actually the mind mapping, or the project mapping developed by the children, which was led by the children itself, and our teacher was trying to record it down to show it out and for the discussion in our coming up discussion. So coming up, we are going to show you actually is I think I'm facing the same technical issue like others. Okay, let me see. I don't think I want to sing a song. So what can I do now? Okay. So I hope that what I'm trying to share with you is actually that what we are trying to do. And we are still doing all this play-based project approach where the children is the leader of the program and our teacher is actually a facilitator or mentor, which helping them to scaffold all the project out. And we are actually in the process of publishing all the what I call the record and also assessment and also all the video and the photo as well, so that we can let more Malaysia preschool educator understand that actually we are doing that actually on the play base. So we are trying to get encouraging more preschool teachers to do the play base. But the most important point here is actually why our Malaysian teachers very difficult to entering a play-based curriculum. I can share with you is actually all related to the mindset. The mindset is very important, and I have been read the book which is published by one of a very famous author, and it's talking about mindset. So we have two types of mindset. One of these is called fixed mindset. The other one is we call grow mindset. And here I would like to ask one simple question: why would you still learn if you are very capable or competent teachers? And the second question I would like to ask: why is there a need to reach out for more professional knowledge? This is a very two important question for all the practitioners here to think about it, because this is what I'm doing now. I've been in this preschool education for 21 years since I was graduate from my university as a bachelor in human development, and further on with the master's degree in the child development. Until now, I'm still as a preschool teacher. And I believe that actually passion discovers talent. So this is a very important concept, because if you love something, if you really love something and you will spend time to do it and you try to motivate yourself to complete it no matter how difficult it is. So this is what I meant. And furthermore, it's actually that the passion can make you to move forward, to learn, and it's actually that can encouraging you to accept things that you never see before. So in our organization, actually, we are encouraging teachers with three key elements. Number one is actually we call curiosity. Number two is engagement. And number three is actually we call knowledgeable. So as a talented teachers, you have to be knowledgeable. That's why I say that we should really look into Finland education, like what Hay School doing. We really need to understand what are you all doing and learn from you all and see how to integrate in our syllabus. So actually, this is the mindset I mentioned just now. It's actually from an author, and we can have two types of mindset. Number one is actually we call fixed mindset. The fixed mindset person is actually very difficult to change. Even or new things to learn, they will feel that it's very difficult to learn it and it's very difficult to accept it. But for the other way, another group of people that with the growth mindset, you can easily try to figure out how to do the work, and even when you're facing the trouble or challenges. So I always encouraging my teacher to have a growth mindset, because this is a very important thing. And I always told them that play doesn't require ample space or expensive toy. So combination of curiosity, imagination, and experiment are what required. So this is what I believe, and I always share with my teachers. And I always want them to know that when you have a passion on your work, actually you can work with the children in terms of Malaysia, but in terms of Finland, we call that play with the children. So I really hope that the Malaysia early child teachers can play with the children, listen to the children, and understand the children, so that you can work with them, and actually we can build and understand to coach them or scaffold them for their future education. So as a conclusion, we have been starting from a very typical kindergarten from 1980 until now. We have been moving on from a very typical curriculum until a play-based and a project-based curriculum. I also hope that all the Malaysia educators can move forward for a more suitable, child-centered, child-appropriate curriculum, which is suit to our Malaysian children. So I will end up my presentation by saying thank you to give me this opportunity to share what we are doing. I hope that what we are doing, and I understand that actually we still have a room to improve, and we are willing to listen and accept all the comments from the audience. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chia. Thank you very much for your sharing. Yes, yeah. So it was so nice to see that your curriculum actually goes in line with the Finnish early education, where they are emphasizing on play as well as project approach. So would you say it is definitely possible to integrate Finnish education in Malaysia context, Mr. Chia?
Oh, I think absolutely possible. Is our teacher have to have a growth mindset. I think that's the most important part.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I also want to say at this point that well-established schools like Talento and many others in Malaysia, Hay Schools offers digital products that can even take you one step ahead in your Finnish approach. So we have the teacher certificate for teachers and the teacher toolkit as a digital curriculum, and it enables you to even take this Finnish approach further and support.
Great. Now is we have come to the exciting moment, which is the question and answer moment. So can we have all our speakers on board? Thank you so much to all the speakers for your great sharing.
Yes, thank you from my side as well.
And I have seen so many questions being posted in the chat box.
Yes, so now the questions are popping up. There hasn't been so much. There has been good discussion during the sessions.
I can at least see that there's a question regarding the teacher training certificate, that is it internationally recognized and how long has this been around? And well, the recognition of the program itself comes always from the particular universities. So we cannot give a guarantee that particular universities would accept that. We started the program last fall, so it's a relatively new, so it has been fantastically received, and we have already the first certificate program applicant, the people who have finished the program, and we have get a wonderful feedback on that.
Then there was further away, one question that I wrote down was, there was a question from Iving C. If there's anything special adjustment in the Finnish ECE when it comes now to the COVID situation. So maybe Professor Lipponen or our pedagogical director, Karolina Nygren, could you please elaborate on that?
Would you like to be the first, Karolina? And I add something if something comes to my mind.
Yeah, I can start. So I actually noticed that question as well, and I think it was a great question to pose here. How I see this, that actually the teaching in this unfortunate pandemic time has been, in that sense, an excellent opportunity for many teachers to get quite well known with certain main principles that we have actually in the Finnish ECE system. And I would bring up here, of course, the culture of trust and the parent participation. I think it has been a great learning moment for many teachers that our roles have a bit like switched with the parents. Traditionally, teachers are in charge of educating and upbringing the children when the children enter schools and ECE centers. But now during the pandemic times, the children have actually stayed home with their parents or other caretakers. And I think that this has demanded that we have this need to build the trust between the teachers and parents more than ever. We need to count on the parents' willingness and eagerness to educate their children. We need to rely on also on parents' information about the child, their progress. So, and these are the principles that we also highlight a lot in Finland, even outside pandemic times, because education is collaboration. We need the parent insights, we need the child insights, and we need the teacher insights in order to educate children the best possible way and achieve the best possible goals and achievements that we want to achieve with them. So I think pandemic time, it has been really challenging time, but in some sense, I feel that it has also brought this kind of culture of trust and this kind of collaboration into those kind of settings where it hasn't existed earlier necessary so much. So in that sense, I would say that it has accommodated actually some of the Finnish ECE principles in quite positive way.
We actually did a nationwide study on ECE principles on COVID time. And that's really interesting because their workload actually increased during the COVID time pretty much, and it's actually changed the things that they had to do. And that's pretty interesting. We also did a small study with the children who actually stayed at home when their peers stayed at the preschool and daycare centers. And it was interesting that the children actually, the main feeling that they had was that they really missed their peers. They really missed the daycare centers and preschools, and that's interesting. So, and we also, when we studied the ECE principles, we also found some, practices that I would even say that help them to survive, during these COVID times. So, like this kind of a collegial support. Shared leadership and these kind of things, and when these practices were actually established, they help with the increased workload, and that's pretty interesting. Unfortunately, the study is yet only in Finnish, but we are planning to publish something in English as well pretty soon.
Thank you, Lasse. Thank you, Karolina. Then there was a question, I think our Malaysian or Chinese speakers can answer that. How the Finnish ECE can prepare the children to go to government schools? Is that, if that's an issue locally in your countries? So
yes, I think in our Malaysia context, the challenge is that when it comes to the formal education, when children enter the primary education, it tends to be quite academically focused. So for children who have been in a play-based curriculum in a preschool, some teachers are finding it very challenging to manage parents' expectation as to whether their child will be able to adapt themselves when it comes to primary education. Do you face this similar situation in Finland? Perhaps Miss Miller? Would you?
Well, obviously the kind of Finnish system will cater for the kind of our system as Finnish teachers in the primary school know what to expect from the preschools and early years education. However, what we have learned very effective way is that we have incorporated so-called learning matrices with different areas of the world, so that we have looked at the local objectives, for example, on primary school first graders, and then the high school's learning areas, and we have been matching these areas, and that has been very effective because they can be, like you said, that for example, we have in Singapore the P1 readiness is very strict.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have been working with the local curriculum and with the learning matrix to match this, that okay, these are the local requirements that we have to match and have to help that the local schools to kind of work that through, and then we have been supporting the local team on those particular areas, so that has been very helpful for us.
Okay, great sharing. So you actually need a transition, to a smooth transition, yes. From play-based to primary.
Exactly, and the kind of like what is really important also to understand that the play-based does not mean that the children would not learn academic skills. They are learning academic skills as well, but the learning method is different. So we are not compromising the academic skills, but the way to learn is different. So the kind of like, if we look at the very traditional way to learn read and write and mathematics is to sit down the children and then teacher is talking and the children are trying to learn. So that's the kind of super traditional model. But the children will actually learn also academic skills through very different methods, through play, through projects, through inquiry-based methods. And that's not really to jeopardize the results, but to take a different path. And that I think that has been a wonderful result.
And learning still takes place effectively, right?
Exactly.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Then there's a question, a very direct question. Can this course be taken separately and not based on SEGI? So yes, the High School Teacher Certificate program is available for everybody as a separate online course. But if you are or happen to be a SEGI student or a SEGI alumni, you will get a discounted price from SEGI. So it makes sense to register even to the certification program as such via your contacts in SEGI. Then about the teacher certification and its recognition. So maybe Carolina or Milla, you can elaborate on that.
Well, maybe a little bit like I referred earlier, that the recognition of the like if we're talking about the credits that will other universities or other colleges accept this course as something that will be credited at the university, that is something that all the schools and colleges are doing one by one. So there is not something that we can promise that once you take this course, this will be accepted. However, we have got a very good feedback from the students who have finished the course that has been highly respected around the world, and the kind of like Finnish education is well recognized, and the reputation of the of the learning is well recognized, but officially we cannot unfortunately promise that will give you credit points in any of the universities.
Yeah, because we do see interest from people connecting from Thailand, from Cambodia. Yes.
Yes. Very nice.
Very nice. So this is actually a kind of follow-up question. Upon completion from the program, would it allow me to find employment in Hay schools? I can answer that surely it will help you to get employed by a Hay schools in your country or in your region. Of course, it doesn't guarantee anything. And then there was an above question about the Hay schools. Will there be a Hay schools opened in Malaysia? Hopefully soon. At this point in your region, we have a full-scale Hay schools learning center in Jakarta, Indonesia, and we are opening one in August in Bangkok, Sukhumvit, Thailand. In Malaysia, we don't have a full Hay schools learning center project yet, but there are schools, more than 10 schools in Malaysia at the moment, implementing our Hay schools teacher toolkit. So they are basically implementing the Finnish early childhood education curriculum and approach through our digital toolkit concept.
And if I can take another question from Yi, what is the next level to pursue in Finnish education after completing the teacher training certificate? Is there a follow-up pause to that?
Wow. Well, as you told about that, yeah, we have been kind of it's on our drawing desk still, but we have been planning to offer also a principal program, so a school principal program as a leadership program. Carolina, this is a good challenge for us, but not yet. Right now, we are working on that. But thank you for the inquiry. That gives us more kind of confidence that to work on that further while there's an interest for that. But thank you for the question.
Yeah, I could maybe add, and Lasse could share maybe a bit in detail that, for example, University of Helsinki then offers opportunities to take some international master degree studies. For example, there's a program called Changing Education or something similar, which is available in English language. Of course, you need to apply formally for that, and you probably need some sort of maybe bachelor level degree from your location, some local university you have attended, but there's also more and more possibilities for very formal university level studies in this kind of like international context in Finland.
Okay, great. And one more question is, does this course mainly focus? So this course is mainly focused on children of which age? Should we say 0 to 6?
0 to 6, yes. So we are looking at the kind of child's development phases on a fairly large scale. So under 6 years old children, yes.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, your classroom is a mixed age grouping, or you go by age, like 4 years old in one class?
We have both. We have both systems as we are. This is a one area of localization that in some countries it's actually very strict that certain age groups needs to be on a very specific setup, and we are respecting that, so it doesn't really acquire or need to be exactly in the Hay way. In Finland, we do have most of the groups are from 0 to 3 years old. So the very under 3 years old are in their own groups, and then from 3 to 6 years old might be in a separate in the mixed age groups. And that has been widely kind of recognized that actually does help both younger and older children to gain even more kind of learning results in a very different manner. So we are warmly recommending that if possible.
Okay.
And in many cases, if I add something, in many cases, actually, so to say, developmental age is not the same as a chronological age, because there can be a 2-year-old who is very competent, more competent in something than 4-year-old. So it also always depends on. So.
Yes, true. That's true. Yes. And we also have a very eager student who say that will we be able to have a list of schools in Malaysia that are running the HEY program? Will they open it to us to observe and learn from how HEY works in their school?
Yes, I can provide the list, and there are no schools popping up every month with the teacher toolkit, and we can certainly provide the links, and they will be available pretty soon also in our website. Unfortunately, not yet, but this is also in progress. And then whether it's possible to have a look at the pedagogy in the schools, this is something that you need to then ask from the schools themselves. But of course, I can also pass this request to the schools that we collaborate with in Malaysia, that there is a demand for that kind of activities.
Okay. Yeah, so and then
Okay,
also
I think we are quite over time already, and I have to say that we really appreciate that so many of you. I think at the highest point there were 420 people in the audience, and still way over 350 at this time. It's 5 p.m. in Finland, which means that it's over 10 p.m. in Malaysia, and I'm really impressed that you spent your Friday evening listening to lectures and insights on Finnish education. So I really appreciate that. So on behalf of HEY Schools and us, I'm really thankful for all your attention. And I also want to thank warmly all of our guest speakers and CEO Stella Lau and Your Excellency Ambassador for your opening speeches. So thank you very much from my side.
Yes, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for your time, and thank you to all our esteemed speakers for your great sharing tonight. It really took us more than 2 hours to be online today. And thank you everyone for staying on until the end. And I'm sure you have a lot of more questions. And as we enter into this very exciting new relationship with HEY School, we are looking forward to collaborate and move on our early childhood training and services forward in Malaysia with HEY School Finland program. So a lot of you have typed in the chat box expressing your interest. So if you are interested to know more about the Finnish early education program, we do have a QR code that will allow you to scan to reach out to us for more information about the HEY School program. So this is the QR code. So please welcome everybody, to scan on this QR code. And our counselor from SEGI will get in touch with you very soon.
Okay, so once again from HEY School's side, thank you very much for your attention throughout the webinar. We are very impressed about this number of people in the audience, and have a very good evening and weekend in Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And you can also scan this to get your e-certificate. Yes. Yeah, we would like to hear from you. Yeah, your feedback. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we have come to the end of today's session. On behalf of SEGI Group of Colleges, we thank all of you for joining our SGC webinar today. So till we meet again, stay connected and stay safe, everyone. Hope to see you again. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank
Good
you.
Good
night.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chia. Thank you, Heiki.